Nvidia is getting ready to launch some GPUs, and no, they're not the ones you think that they are. Valve is going to start repairing your Steam Deck for you, and Intel finally tells us the specs on their GPUs. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast. And you may know that we are at a new channel with hot news, and by new I mean old, with regards to UFD Tech. Hot news is being brought back to UFD Tech. As far as we're aware, permanently. There are a lot of moving parts behind the scenes, but for the benefit of people who want things in one place, as well as for the benefit of the channel and the business that we're running here, hot news on UFD Tech is the way that it's going to make the most sense moving forward. There's actually a full explainer of this over on the hot news channel in case you want to deep dive into that, but suffice it to say, you want your daily dose of hot news, UFD Tech is now and hopefully forever where it's going to be. I think my team has threatened to murder me if I change it again. But just to be clear, I'm not making unanimous decisions here. This is something that has been progressing behind the scenes, was discussed amongst the team. We've listened to feedback from the community, and this is it. This is the way it's gonna be, which is what Nvidia is trying to tell you about GPUs, okay? Either you're gonna buy their high end, which is the 4090, 4090 Ti, 4080 or whatever, or you're not worth a single cent to them and they're just gonna re-release what's already out there so that you can continue to give them money since they have to shift their production into the high margin items. And, oh, I'm sorry, you were waiting for a 3060 Ti for the last 2 years. Well, now you're gonna be able to get one, except for it's gonna be different. So suck on that, because we're not gonna launch the replacement right now, because why would we do that when we could bleed everybody dry? In case you can't tell, I'm a little saucy about this entire experience, but according to insider reports, Nvidia is getting ready to launch a new RTX 3060 and RTX 3060 Ti this coming October. The differences are going to be the RTX 3060 will only have 8 gigabytes of VRAM as opposed to the current setup, which is 12 gigabytes, which means that it will also have lower memory bandwidth. So the 3060 is going to get worse. Hopefully, that means they're also going to drop the price, but don't hold your breath. There needs to be a zoom there, Catlin. People need to know I was serious on that one. And the 3060 Ti, well, that's actually getting better. They're going to increase the memory bandwidth because it's switching from GDDR6 to GDDR6X. So it's going to be 36% faster, allegedly, on the memory bandwidth, and it's going to be the same that you can find on something like the 3070 Ti. So the 3060 Ti is getting a 36% memory bandwidth increase. The 3060 is getting a 33% memory bandwidth decrease, and we're launching that in October because, as we're expecting, Nvidia is not going to be ready to launch these mid-tier cards for their 40 series until sometime well into 2023. So if you want high-end, Nvidia is going to have you covered. You want mid-end, suck it up and deal with what they have right now. Obviously, we still need to be waiting for what AMD is going to be doing on the RX 7000 series. Hasn't been a lot of indication behind the scenes of what's going on there. AMD's own showcase of the RX 7000 series was just them telling us to look at the game while they showed us Lisa Su on screen. It was great. Like, I have no qualms with Dr. Su, but they could have showed the game. Anyways, let me know what you think of the 3060 and 3060 Ti continuing on forevermore down below in the comments. But it does look like we are getting closer to the RTX 4090 launch because retailers are starting to post prices and listings of them. This is an Australian retailer who's posting the RTX 4090 right here. You can see it's 4,550 Australian dollars, which is not real because Australia is not real, but I wouldn't take this as what the card's gonna cost. Likely, if we can wrap all of Nvidia's price gouging into a single thought right now, I'm gonna guess the RTX 4090 is gonna cost $1,500. That might be too low. I could be naive with that one, but I wouldn't expect it to cost that amount of $4,500, but we'll just have to wait and see. But we are, with the 40 series, seeing more indications of things that might be happening on the mid-tier, so like the RTX 4070, is that they are potentially going to have lower PCI Express lanes than what we expect from the 30 series, so chopping it down from 16 to 8. We are anticipating that the 40 series is going to be PCI Express 5.0, so the bandwidth of the PCI Express Express lanes will effectively be the same as what it is right now. It's just that it's only going to take 8 lanes as opposed to 16. This is something that AMD's been doing with their mid-tier cards for a while. AMD sometimes takes it too far with like the RX 6400 being on 4 lanes or the RX 5500 XT being on 4 lanes. That was a stupid move. I really wouldn't want anybody to go down to 4 lanes, because if you only have 4 lanes, if you drop it onto like a PCI Express 3.0 board, your graphics card sucks. So by 8 lanes is like the bare minimum of what I would want in a GPU, especially if you're moving on to the last generation of PCI Express on 4.0. You're still more than likely going to be fine on something like an RTX 4060. And you're going to be fine because I'm here to deliver you your daily dose of Cryptostonks. Bitcoin having a nice surge towards the end of last week. It's up only 0.5% right now, but it increased from under $20,000 to where it's now at $21,655. You can see it had a dip in the middle of the week, and now it peaked on up over the weekend. Ethereum similarly up 1.5% to be at 1767, a nice chunk in increase. In Dogecoin not really moving all that much. It's at 6.4 cents. It kind of has the same graph, but it's not the same. And I keep hearing people tell me, stop covering Doge, cover all these other crypto stuff. No, I cover Doge because it's the meme. Okay, there's no better meme stuff. You can't tell me there's a better meme crypto. You can tell me that there's other ones, but as far as mainstream understanding, Doge is the one to go. And I mainstream understand Reece when he brings us the UFD deals, because it's beautiful, it's lovely. His voice is like a seraphic angel. That's not a word.
Thank you, Brett. I absolutely agree or disagree with whatever you just said based on the context. But I hope you guys had a good weekend. Welcome back to UFD Deals, and I hope you agree that today's deal is an absolute banger. Because we have the AMD Ryzen 5 5600G going for only $132.02, which is 49% off the 6-core 12-thread CPU with integrated Radeon graphics. I think this is an absolutely stellar deal, but don't forget you can find this and more linked in the video description. Cheers.
Seraphic. That's what I was, seraphic, like a seraphim. Thanks, buddy. Glad to have you back here on UFD Tech. Much appreciated. Thank you for threatening my life. And Google's starting to bring out a foldable device, at least in the source code of Android 13. We're finding that there are hints at a Pixel foldable as well as a Pixel Pro tablet, which we're not expecting to get announced on the October 6th event, probably a little later on, but Google allegedly is developing all of that, and Assassin's Creed is allegedly developing to go back to its roots. I'm not sure if that's development or regression, who knows. People want Assassin's Creed the way it used to be, but also Assassin's Creed is doing rather well for itself in sales as it stands. It's hard to say whether the gamers who are loudest online are the correct ones, or if you look at the sales and you're like, but people are buying these things. Like, who's doing the complaining? Is it the people not spending the money? Because Ubisoft doesn't care about them. Anyways, at the Ubisoft Forward event, Ubisoft showed off Assassin's Creed Mirage, going to take place in 2023. At least that's when the game's coming out. It's going to take place well before that, 2 decades before Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And it's allegedly going back to its stealth roots. And you can watch the cinematic world premiere. We'll leave that link in the video description in case you want to check it out. But let me know what you think of the Assassin's Creed series. I mean, I've heard, I think, a lot of the comments. I'm just curious, the people who are spending money on it, do you like it? Do you not like it? I know people who aren't spending money complain about it, but especially if you played the most recent ones, I want to hear from you. And Valve wants to help you fix your Steam Deck in case you can't do that yourself or you don't feel comfortable doing it. This is just another step in the repairability of these devices. Valve partnering with iFixit to provide you with all the parts that you might need to repair your Steam Deck or upgrade it in case you want something like the matte screen that comes with the 512 gig, but you only want to buy the 64 gigabyte version, which we actually did a video on right up there. But now the announcement is that Valve is opening up Steam Deck repair centers where you can send in your device, and if it's a fix that happens under warranty, they'll do it for free for you, but if it's something else, they'll charge you for it, but they'll do it for you. They can fix it in case you want it fixed. But on the other side of the handheld area, Ayaneo announcing their Geek console, which is going to come out with a Ryzen 7 6800U APU. It costs $630 and looks absolutely stunning. I think this is something that I seriously want, is the 6000 series APUs inside of portable handhelds, we're actually going to be coming out with a review on the Ayaneo Air shortly here on UFD Tech. And suffice it to say, this thing is held back by the fact that it's on a Ryzen 5000 series processor, comparing it especially to the Steam Deck. I really wanted to love this, but its lower power in the GPU department is tremendously noticeable, even if it has great features like an OLED screen. It's phenomenal. Also, by the way, we're going to be giving this away as we do all of our testing for the upcoming Cannonball for the Cure charity stream that we're going to be doing on October 21st. Anybody who helps watch the streams as we're developing them can earn points towards a giveaway, and the Ayaneo Air is going to be the pre-event giveaway that's happening. So come follow us over on Twitch in case you want to check that out. The Ayaneo 2 Geek getting announced. It looks great. I want to see it. $630 honestly isn't that terrible for the specs that are in this device. I would like to see it. It has the necessary upgrades that I want to see over the Ayaneo Air, and NASA doing the necessary upgrades to the Artemis 1 rocket. They have fixed the leaky fuel seals, the ones that were leaking out liquid hydrogen. They have now replaced those with new gaskets. They should have been able to fuel it this past weekend, and they're going to be doing some testing on September 17th of seeing if the actual new seals are going to work, which will bring us a step closer to getting back to the moon and corrupting it with capitalism. No! And Intel's gonna corrupt you with their GPUs. You're gonna have them in your system by the end of the decade. You better believe me, everybody will have Intel inside. Even if you don't own a computer, it's gonna be inside something. And they're showing off, finally, the details on their Arc A7 series GPUs. We're getting the specific specifications of these GPUs. The Arc A750, 28 Z cores, the 770's got 32. You can read the slide that's on the screen right now. But most importantly, we got memory bandwidth details coming out. The Arc A750 is going to have 512 gigabit per second memory, and the A770 is going to have 560 gigabit per second memory. Not a ton of details outside of that. Still no pricing, still no release date. There continue to be rumors popping up at plenty of websites and other YouTube channels where they're talking about how Arc, the discrete side of things, is actually going to be dead because Intel doesn't believe in it. But Intel on the other side, at every public facing opportunity, is just like, it's not dead, everything's fine. We're just like, this is our first launch, we're trying to figure it out, please bear with us. It's hard to know what's going on. Intel trying to be forthright, but then all of these other sources coming out and saying, no, it's dead, it's never gonna work. But I'm dead, never gonna work again until hot news tomorrow. So get subscribed, stay tuned for more of the hottest tech news out on the internet. We'll be back here for you tomorrow.